Hey y'all, Trashy here. Today we're in Davil, Alabama with a little historic gem for you. Right across from the Tallapoosa County Courthouse is a little gem that the Tallapoosa County Historical Society has come up with. This is a museum called, well, since I'm eternally 12, I'm going to let the guy inside tell us what this is called. Can you give me the name of this museum?
We have two or three names we go by. It's a little confusing. First of all, this is Tallapoosa County. That's an Indian word. There's also a Tallapoosa, Georgia. Well, they had a museum before we did, so we couldn't say Tallapoosa County with a museum because they already had one. So what we had to do was change to the Indian spelling with a double E instead of the A, Tallapoosee Historical Society. But out front, we call it real simple Tallapoosa County Museum. And that's easy to remember instead of society and historical and all that. So, and we have a Facebook page and we try to do a post about every week or two, something real interesting. We do a little spot on Kenny Dean's TV show in Alexander City every 2 weeks for 2 years. And again, my name's Danny Hayes, and I've been the president here for 10 years and wanting to stay 10 more years if they'll let me.
Well, thank you, Danny. Let's go over here to this first place that interests me,
Sure.
and that will be the war stuff.
Absolutely. Charles, we've got an extremely nice timeline military section, which has expanded over the 10 years I've been here. It used to all be in one glass cabinet. And then we started getting uniforms and we acquired this building. And we could take anything about the wars in our country. We start back over here with the Civil War. Charles, right quick, we start with the Civil War. We go to World War One and Two and Vietnam. And this is where we begin with the Civil War and the leaders of the Civil War and some old homemade swords. And we read that a lot of the Confederate soldiers took their own horses and weapons because we weren't prepared for what happened there. You seem mighty interested in this section, Charles.
Well, I've been a Civil War historian for 35 years. I love the modern stuff. My dad was a big World War II buff, but I do know that we've got these are Tallapoosa County veterans.
There's a name tag on most all of our stuff, and that's get up there and read a little bit closer, but I can't really answer that. It's hard to retain a lot of this knowledge in here. There's so much.
And that looks like it was World War One period at Camp Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky.
Is that what it says? Oh yes.
I'm looking at the uniforms, and you've got it's post Span Am War. It's pre World War II. You still got the cavalry hats.
World War One, maybe.
And then we come over here, and we've got sailors here. That looks like possibly that looks like World War II era sailors. Looks like we've got is that a World War II gas mask?
Yes. Someone was looking at it the other day and took it and displayed it on, took some pictures. But we have one or two gas masks here, and they're pretty well worn out, matter of fact. But then we have a little bit from Desert Storm, not that much, and some of the old duffel bags that were used. And you're over here looking at the airplane that went down in the lake after World War II was over. This B-25 bomber went down in Lake Martin and came all to pieces. These are motor parts. And it wasn't known where it went down because nobody lived on the lake back in 1945 except some little old fishing cabins, with not even running water.
Yeah, the famous Kalijah restaurant where Hank Williams wrote his about Kalijah the poor old. That restaurant wasn't even there till the early 50s.
Maybe so. Yeah.
I know his cabin was built in the late 40s, but the restaurant wasn't built till the 50s. But this is all very interesting stuff that I've lived in Tallapoosee my whole life, 47 years, and a lot of this I have never seen before. So this is very interesting to me. And tell me about this contraption.
This contraption here is a wheelchair. It's obviously pretty old, no doubt. And we have the information on most items in our museum. And the short story on this one was that was the name brand is an Arrow wheelchair. It's in great shape to be as old as it is, from the 40s. So we're looking at something about 80 years old here, something like that. Belonged to the Willoughby brothers of the Willoughby Brothers store in Dayville, and we know where that was across the railroad tracks by the depot. They were brothers of Winnie Willoughby Thomas, who made all these wonderful big scrapbooks back here in the back. This thing is in fantastic shape because we were told that the Willoughby brothers kept something firm on this so they wouldn't mess up their wicker seat, and that's why it looks pristine. It was well taken care of.
And one big difference between older wheelchairs, which came out, what, 1700s all the way up through the 1960s, was the big wheels on the front. They, modern wheelchairs have them on the back. And why change them up?
Well, don't ask me because I just now noticed it when you said it. I mean, that's the truth. I hadn't even really noticed that, but I have no answer.
Most of your older wheelchairs like this, you didn't have ADA compliance. You didn't have ramps everywhere. You didn't have solid, good floors, and most of the times you didn't have paved sidewalks. So your bigger wheels allowed you to push somebody over rocks and rougher terrain.
Get over a threshold or something like that. I hadn't thought about that.
And if you go back and go back and watch the old John Wayne movies, Midway, when they show Admiral Halsey sitting in a big wheeled front wheelchair.
Well, now we know the rest of the story, don't we? We've got lots of items in this place, Charles, and we've got sections that we've sort of walked through here quickly this morning and really got some long, drawn out ideas, and we had to get back to the video, didn't we? I have been here 10 years personally, and I usually find out what people are interested in. I don't push something on people, but don't we really have something for every age?
There's something for every age. There's a lot of stuff in here. Tell me a little bit about this 1860 clock.
This 1860 Seth Thomas clock here, this is identical 1860. Here it is right here, made in Plymouth Hollow, Connecticut. Runs by weights. It's called a 30-hour clock. It'll run 30 hours. It has two separate metal weights inside it that wind up with a key, and they slowly come down. One is for the gong, and one is for the time. And this little old key is how you wind these things up like that. And it'll run 30 hours, again from Plymouth Hollow, Connecticut. 1860 makes it 140, 50, about 165 years old, something like that. It runs perfectly. Came from a scrapyard in Attic City, in Mr. Fred Walker's place. Dad's helper gave $1 or $2 because it had been dropped and was damaged, and the old man repaired it for him, Mr. Monkhart in Kellyton, and it hadn't missed a lick since. That was the middle 50s, and it's been on my parents' mantle all these years, and then on my mantle about 12 or 15 years. And Charles, I decided to share it with the public instead of keep it at my house, and a lot of people get to see it coming up here. And it's a neat clock.
And it still gongs, right?
You want to make it gong? It's almost time for it to gong, isn't it? 5 minutes to 12. Let's let it go. There we go. 9, 10, 11, 12. On the money. And you regulate the time by raising or lowering this brass medallion with that little screw. That's how you set the speed of the clock. Isn't that neat after all these years? This is an Edison Diamond Disc Player, which is entirely different from RCA Victrola. Victrola's needle went left and right, and Edison's needle went up and down, and he used a diamond needle instead of a metal needle like RCA. Different RPMs, different grooves, and the records were not interchangeable. This one needed a little bit of repair when we got it. It wasn't major, but did find the owner's book and was able to take a few parts and get it going. And we're going to demonstrate this baby. I like to hear it start up from scratch and, growling, speeding up. We're just going to play a little bit. Get ready. You gonna make it? There we go. How about that? Just one of the many, many interesting things in these two buildings, and it's free.
And thank you, Mr. Hayes, for letting us come in here, letting us explore your museum. I want people to come down here and see. There's just so much stuff that we didn't even get a chance to scratch the surface. So tell everybody how to get here. Tell everybody when you're open.
Okay. We are located downtown Dadeville. If you're the courthouse is right across the street from us. If you're standing on the courthouse steps, look a little off to the left. We're on the corner here. Payne Furniture is beside us. We have two enormous buildings that are packed. Wouldn't you say packed?
Oh, there's more stuff in here than what's in my storage unit.
We are full of interesting items, and most everybody gets inside this door and stops and says, wow. And then on the way out, they say, we're coming back and we're going to tell Aunt Elizabeth and Myrtle and whoever else and bring Grandma up here. So we enjoy it showing all of our stuff, and we're so glad you could come by.
And one more time, the name of the museum.
Tallapoosee Historical Museum, and we call it Tallapoosa County Museum.